Good afternoon, everyone. It's time for my weekly update. It's Thursday, August 27th. Today would be my father's 99th birthday if he were still alive. It is the first birthday that my dad and mom have been able to celebrate together in the last 27 years since his passing. So hopefully they're together in heaven enjoying the day. But we all have difficulties and we all have to soldier on. But in any case, there's a lot going on in the parish, and there is a lot that I need to inform you about. First and foremost, of course, school has reopened quite successfully. It's gone fairly smoothly the first week. Some glitches to be worked out, of course, in terms of timing and all that. Certainly want everybody to keep all of our teachers and staff in prayer because they're working incredibly hard to try to do in-class learning in person and e-learning to those that are studying at home at the same time. It's an incredibly complex process and very demanding on them, and they are doing an outstanding job trying to take care of that for all of us. That's going well. Also, the Faith Formation Program for our public school children, registration is going to start soon, and the information is going out. Those classes, those groups, and those formation groups together will all be virtual this year, and so we're working on getting all that out, as well as getting out all the sacramental prep data, most of which will take place in September and some in October to begin the year. So that's going very well. Our adult faith formation program will be severely curtailed simply because of the lack of ability to get together and meet. Anybody who is interested, of course, in studying about the Catholic faith and joining the church will still be doing a kind of a streamlined version of the RCIA program, and contact me at the rectory if you're interested or you know people who are. I believe that Deacon Bill is going to continue the Soul Food Bible Study classes. I think that will also be virtually, so that will be available. And of course, given the reality of the COVID pandemic still prevalent in our state, we'll continue to keep 25% capacity, and at this time only the two masses, Saturday night at 5 and Sunday at 10 a.m. And the Vicar General's office downtown has reminded us to stay vigilant and keep continuing our safe health practices, safe physical distancing and so forth, because obviously with the increased incidents out there, it's not a time to relax our vigilance. So we'll continue to do that. I still need to have more volunteers. If you are willing to sign up, it's a short 1-hour video to just learn the process, and then you'll be trained by our people here. So that would be very helpful if you could do that. So that's all very positive going on. This weekend we are still completing the work of installing the carpeting in the church. It's not clear if that will be completed by, the goal is to have it completed by Friday so that we could have masses up in the church again this weekend. If we do, fine. If not, they'll be back down in the hall again, which is set up for the Mass. So either way, please sign up for that. That will be an important thing to continue to do. And finally, the biggest issue on the horizon is the Renew My Church. So the groupings have met, and we have discussed, or at least been presented and discussed, some preliminary scenarios for what the future of the parishes here in Jefferson and Portage Park might look like. Again, that's St. Constance, St. Paschal, Our Lady of Victory, and ourselves. We will be putting those scenarios out on the website, hopefully by late afternoon on Saturday. All 4 parishes are asked to put it out at the same time in advance of a town hall meeting that each of us will be holding next week to let you know about that. So our town hall meeting will be held on Thursday, September 3rd, a week from today, at 7 p.m. in the church. Pre-registration is required, and we can only take obviously 120 people to present what the scenarios are, to get your initial feedback and respond to questions, and then we'll have all that also up on the website. We're hoping to be able to videotape that so that we can get that out on the website as well, so that you'll have time to digest that if you can't make it in person, and then send your questions or comments or thoughts about the program to the Renew My Church, to our website, the RMC at archchicago.org email address. So we'll be addressing all that on Thursday. So if those of you have a chance to look at the scenarios from Saturday night through then, please do make some comments to, notes for yourself, and bring them to the town hall meeting, simply because of the scope of the projects neither I nor the committee members will be answering individual questions or responses prior to that meeting. There's simply not enough time to do that. And a lot of the questions you have will probably be addressed at the town hall meeting itself. But after that, of course, we'll be soliciting all your information, all your concerns, all your feedback, and bring them back to the committee. I'm also hoping to get out this week, certainly before Thursday of next week, the timeline for the rest of the process. It's still a little bit up in the air, and we're having trouble with some of our group meetings. We've been meeting. We're at Paschal, St. Paschal's on Tuesday night, but many people are trying to join the meeting on Zoom that are not comfortable meeting in person, and it's just very difficult to have a kind of conversation with half the group in person and some of the people not there. So we're considering putting all those on Zoom meetings going forward and seeing how that works, and hopefully we'll be able to still have, interactive conversations where we have as much personal contact as we can, even if we're physically not present together. So there's a lot of stuff still in flux, and so that's one of the reasons I haven't put out more data, because it might change and has been changing quite a bit every week. But that information will be out on the website hopefully Saturday evening, and then we will have the town hall meeting again on Thursday at 7 p.m. in the church. And if, of course, the carpeting still isn't done by then, we'll have it down in the hall. Whether that can be taped or not, I'm not quite sure. Our video sound system is hooked up to the main church, and I'm not sure whether we can get it done in the downstairs hall as well. I think so, but I can't promise anything because I'm not technologically knowledgeable to do that. So we'll find that out later on this week, and we'll hope to get that information out as well. So that's important because obviously the scenarios will involve, the uniting of the parishes, and that could look a variety of different ways. And so we need to pray about that for ourselves, for what's best for our parish and our people, but also what's best for the entire community, given our limited resources and the fact that all of us, not just here in Portage Park, Jefferson Park, but throughout the nation, have experienced declining mass attendance, declining contributions, a lack of connectedness to the life of the church. So how do we best reach out to those people? How do we just best serve that with fewer resources? And so it's important to pray about that. It's important to talk about it with one another. But most importantly, I think, as we pray about it with an open heart, to assume good motives on the part of everybody and to bring light to a dialogue rather than heat, because it's going to be a very difficult time. Everybody throughout the Archdiocese who has gone through this process already knows that the parish is difficult when they're confronted with the possibility of losing their worship site or losing their parish, and parishes have closed, and we know that, and that creates a lot of pain. So we're going to try to work through that and minimize that as much as possible. That's one of the reasons why the Cardinal wanted us to have these Renew My Church teams and meetings, to try to get the input from parishioners, from the communities most concerned, so it's not just a decision about numbers and buildings and finance. So that's our hope, that we can provide some good feedback, that we can have some good dialogue and some good suggestions on how to try to move forward in what honestly is a very difficult situation and very hard for all of us. Certainly it's hard for me as your pastor, having been here nearly 15 years and getting to love and know all of you and being kind of wedded to this place in a way, and certainly for all of you that have made this your spiritual home or your school as well for all these years, and in many cases for generations. So the prospect of change is daunting and a bit scary for all of us, and so I understand that, and we need to just try to journey through that together and pray for the best possible solution, and that trust that God will be with us through the process. So again, a lot going on. Please look at the website, the bulletin, for further communications. Again, use the RMC at srbchicago.org for questions and comments, and we'll try to get to all of them after the open house, or after the town hall, and then try to sort them into groups, and so we can best answer them. So again, thank you for your patience and your understanding, and let's all pray for one another, and certainly in light of the heightened violence that's going on in Kenosha and other places, to continue to pray for peace, a return to civility. Certainly pray for all of our first responders, particularly our police officers, our firefighters, our EMTs, and our hospital personnel that are bearing the brunt of all of this. and also pray for those who are the victims of gun violence and how we can figure out as a nation that we might solve those problems as well. So God bless you all. Have a good week, and I hope to see you virtually or live on Sunday for Mass.